Okay. Fucking Windows.
Oh, radio, tell me everything you know.
Oh, we're on the air, finally. Took us a little while. Having technical difficulties. What else is new? Welcome to the world of podcasting. This is Board Wrestling Fan Radio, episode number 129.
Wait, I thought it was 130.
Is it 130? I don't fucking know.
Who fucking knows? G knows. That's why
It's 1:30.
I literally just got home 5 minutes ago.
It's 1:30.
And I literally have to leave in 20 minutes. So.
Yeah. That's okay. I don't think George is coming, and I think maybe I can
George
cut this
said
episode.
last week he wasn't going to be here. I know that.
Good. Maybe we can make this a short episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's just me and you, this would take 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, G will show up. I think.
Bye, baby. Bye.
I expect G to show up. I also expect the shocked Undertaker guy if G doesn't show up. Not literally, of course.
Well, we can call him.
I'm sure we can find his number somewhere.
He must be listed in the pages as shocked Undertaker guy.
Probably. Oh, G is late and leaving early. Last minute Father's Day stuff.
Ah.
See, this is what happens when I don't get to my computer until 5 minutes before the damn show. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyways.
Wrestling. I guess. I don't fucking know, man.
Only since I'm leaving in 15, 20 minutes, I'll do the one Sheik tweet I did.
Okay.
I mean, the Sheik tweet. Sheik tweeted. I had nothing to write with this. P.S. Yeah. For the Father's Day, I break the backs of all the jabroni fathers out there. Fuck them in the ass. Make them humble.
It is indeed Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all my fellow dads out there who may or may not be listening, and probably not, because I've got Father's Day stuff to do, too.
And only the ones that deserve it.
Right, exactly.
Not shithead ones like my brother.
Or like my father. But that's a whole different story. That'll be in the book, if I ever write a book. But
I think you and I could, too.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So...
anyway. I don't know. I'm also eating, if anybody can't tell. I woke up at 1:30, honey, what are we doing for lunch? What the fuck time is it? It's 1:30, screw lunch, I gotta do the show. And she goes, well, we gotta eat. So I went to the store, I got some pizza rolls. That's what I'm eating.
And you hear a purring cat on one of the lines.
I do hear
me.
that. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Monday Night Raw happened. I watched that, kind of.
Yeah, I just read through the review to refresh my memory. It didn't help. I remembered it was a bad show.
I remember that as well. I said something last week on the show. We were talking about a TNA base brawl that drew 300 people at the most. Hey, you guys remember what I said? I said that I was willing to put money on the IHWE experience last week in Fort Worth, drawing more people.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to David Fuller. He drew 510 people to that event. So his local indie show drew more than TNA did, which is great. Just awesome for him.
Well, 2CW, when I saw it back in its earlier stages, not like what it is now.
Right.
I'm not saying it's it's starting to blow up now, but back when I saw them back in 2009, they completely sold out the gym they were in. It was probably about 300 to 500 people.
2CW put on good shows. I mean, even back then.
Yeah.
So that's
And then that was a card that I saw that had Sonny Timmy Stitch on it too.
We've got here Empire State Wrestling, and they sell out every show they do, standing room only. Unfortunately, thanks to George, I have nobody to go with next week, so I might be missing a show for once. But oh well.
You always go on your own.
Yeah, since I don't have a car anymore, I can't just go and be like, "Hey, I'm here." Let's see. So, Shield and Wyatt family, and Nikki Sixx, and
there's Nikki Sixx Pac, Six from Blossom, it's the Sixth Sense, Iron Maiden 666, Number of the Beast.
I was running out of ideas, man. Pier 6 Wrestling, WrestleMania 6.
And then you just gave up.
Well, at least the next one was still 6.
Licks.
I was like out of ideas. I'm like, what the fuck else can I use?
I actually thought for a second when I saw the Sixth Sense picture, you somehow imposed because that's kind of what the Black Sabbath third album cover for 13 looks like.
That's
minus
true.
the kid. It basically the 6 looks like what their album covers looks like. So
yeah,
it's like,
that is true. I don't know, like it hit me Monday because I actually saw that Monday was my ex-wife's birthday, which reminded me that it was also Board Wrestling Fan's birthday. Weird coincidence. Okay, it wasn't intentional. It was a weird coincidence. But it's like, oh yeah, hey, 6th anniversary of Board Wrestling Fan. And before I got a chance to do anything with the banner, G had realized it was the 6th anniversary of Board Wrestling Fan and changed it to the one that we got now with 6. You know, Sean Waltman is 6 on our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Board Wrestling Fan. I don't know, Raw was like pretty shitty, honestly. There's like nothing I remember other than like, you know, the Shield and the Wyatts, and the Shield had John Cena as their partner.
Well, let's not forget the simulated Bukake.
Yeah, true. I don't know what else. Oh yeah, and 3MB, their last night on Raw.
It's too soon, Joe. It's too soon.
And 3MB is gone.
They're dead. I killed them.
I know you did, G. It's all your fault. Welcome.
wait, Ghost G has arrived.
He's here. He made it.
I have a lot to do today, and
I
I
know.
wasn't planning on having a lot to do today, but I do. So I will be here for now, and I will be in and off this show.
Oh, this is gonna be a short episode, man.
Well, I don't know how long it'll be, but I do know that 3MB is gone. I don't know where you're at, how you want to run the format. We have this sort of TNA pay-per-view thing, and then we have we gotta remind the audience that the LA Kings have won, and then George can cry, even though he's probably not on the show because he's all sad. Bailey invaded his home and took over, and the LA Kings are the kings. They're the kings of the ring. The kings of your heart.
I fell asleep
Yes.
in between the overtime periods, so I missed it.
Oh, well, you know what was awesome about that is I was so pissed that I had to miss that game. I have to work. And then I got home, and they're midway through the first overtime. I'm like, well, fuck yeah. I get to watch end of the game.
I
And
watched the
kept going and
entire
going.
game, and I fell asleep after the first overtime. And it's like,
Of course you did. That's what you do.
I wake up, and my wife had gone to bed, and I'm like, I grab my phone, and I have the notification, the LA Kings have won the Stanley Cup. Like, oh, fuck, I missed the presentation of the cup. So then I had to jump on the Growing a Playoff Beard Facebook page and post, hey, the LA Kings have won the Stanley Cup again. Time for the Rangers fans to shave. And then the next morning when I got up, I was trying to get the picture to post as the profile picture there. And it, like, my phone wouldn't let me. I had to finally go on the computer to do it.
I was tempted to go on to the and post the message, but then at that point I would have posted something like really asinine and fuck y'all Yankees. Gotta be down with the Kings. Gotta be
Yeah.
So are we gonna hop right into news?
Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we just jump into like the TNA pay-per-view and talk about that for a minute, and then do news and call it a day. I don't.
So will this pay-per-view actually draw more than 300 people?
304.
Yes, but not that many buys.
Is it an IH? This is the thing. It's in Texas, isn't it?
Is it gonna be available on the network?
Yes.
Eventually, when
In a few
WWE
years,
buys
yeah.
TNA, yeah. What is it? Slammiversary tonight?
It's supposed to be their WrestleMania, but fuck.
Slammiversary 2014. There we go. Slammiversary 12. It's
Wait,
from.
This
I
is
thought-
one of the
I
best
thought-
built-up pay-per-views of all time.
I thought. Wait, Mark. I don't mean to cut anybody off. I thought Bound for Glory was the WrestleMania.
I don't care.
Nobody cares. This pay-per-view is at the College Park Center in Arlington, Texas.
I got 2 separate sessions of 2 hours sleep last night. I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I ended up hanging out a little too late. I was chilling with a pal of ours.
So George is in Canada?
No, she's not on the show today. But we shout her out every week. Hi, Alice. How you doing? We actually talked a little bit about TNA. It was ironic, to say the least. But then I found out that, instead of the Father's Day thing with my family happening at 6 p.m., it's actually happening in an hour and 45 minutes. Yay!
Well, mine's happening in 45 minutes, so just to make you feel better. And I still have to get ready for mine.
Mine's already over.
Were you given about 8 hours notice?
No.
Oh, okay. Just curious. I gotta find that out.
Anyway, back to the TNA pay-per-view. I'd like to point out that this event is taking place 30 minutes away from Fort Worth, Texas, where the IHWE experience took place last week. 30-minute drive from venue to venue. And David drew 510 people last week. Let's see if TNA, just 30 minutes away from IHWE, can outdraw IHWE tonight. That'll be interesting to keep an eye out for.
We're gonna need the non-papered.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I think they will. They've got the Von Erichs.
Yeah, that's probably the main draw. They've apparently been advertising quite heavily in the area, even though they haven't announced an actual match. So, I mean, it's going to be difficult for us to predict who wins here. Or is it? Von Erichs win. I don't care who they wrestle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But they are out of tag teams for them to face.
Apparently they are, because I'm looking at some of these other matches on the show. We'll start at the bottom. Angelina Love defending the Knockouts Championship against Gail Kim. I don't know if anybody wants to throw out a prediction.
Gail Kim will eliminate herself from the match and no one will notice.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you look at the list, you'll notice very obviously that the Bromans are not included, and I'm gonna guess they're gonna face the Bromans, and the Bromans are gonna lose.
Shit with a menagerie.
Are they doing? Is that an actual match though? Or
It's not been announced.
This is what I'm reading the list of matches that I have here.
It's how they work. They just announce matches the week of and ignore everything they've been building towards.
I'm reading them straight from Wikipedia to just kind of give you an idea of if you can make your own guesses if this is accurate or not. But the next match is a 6-way ladder match for the X Division Championship, which means they dug up 6 X Division guys by breaking up a tag team because they've got Sonata versus Manic, Tigre Uno, Crazy Steve, Eddie Edwards, and Davey Richards for the X Division Championship.
This will
nice to
probably
see
be the
Manic
match
again.
of the night too.
Probably will be. I've got Austin Aries versus Kenny King. The winner faces. The winner advances to the TNA Heavyweight Championship match, which I guess is a 3-way steel cage match.
Yeah, it's a new 3-way.
Okay.
Oh, I have all the matches in the show notes that were announced.
Okay. Well, I got the Wikipedia here because I figured that's probably the most up to date.
I always
edited
get
that. I changed it.
Okay. Yeah, you've got pretty much what I've got almost. You're missing like one match that I have.
I always get Kenny King mixed up with the guy from Slayer.
Kerry King?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice,
I'm like-
skinny, athletic black guy against compared to big, tattooed, giant Kerry King. Yeah. Okay. I got Mr. Anderson versus James Storm. I've got Willow with Abyss versus Magnus with Bram.
And Relic. It's killer spelled backwards.
I've got Samoa Joe versus Bobby Lashley. The winner of that also advances to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. This is the match I've got for the Von Erichs. Marshall and Ross Von Erich, with Kevin Von Erich, are set to take on the Bromans.
Hey, I called it.
You did. That's the match I have listed here. I don't know how accurate this is. It is Wikipedia after all.
I told you I edited it. All right.
All right. Bully Ray versus EC3 in a Texas death match.
Who will die tonight?
If I swear if I tune into Impact and there's not an in memory of for one of these guys, I'm suing. It's supposed to be a death match, damn it.
Oh, that was something shit they did on Thursday. At the end, they plugged next week's Impact instead of Slammiversary. It was find out the fallout of Slammiversary instead of watch Slammiversary and see what happens. No, just tune in next week. We'll tell you everything.
It's time to eulogize. I will remember you. No, I won't.
And, of course, the World Championship match, Eric Young is defending against either Samoa Joe or Bobby Lashley, and either Austin Aries or Kenny King.
Down with the Kings.
It's almost like a knockoff of WrestleMania, except the champion has no idea who he's facing. Like, at least Randy Orton knew that Batista was one of his challengers. You know? I don't know.
Yeah,
Bobby Lashley is pretty much a black Batista.
Yeah.
Well, that's the old joke, and it never goes away. For good reason, because both of them, when they talk, they sound funny.
Damn, I thought I was being original.
Being original? No, this is TNA.
What's original?
Wrestling matters. So what match do you want to look at? Von Erichs are going to win because they're the Von Erichs.
Is Blandy Orton at least original?
Blandy Orton. That's good. I do like that one.
Blandy Orton?
Blandy Orton.
I'm
No,
not.
I've read that before too. It's kind of. Hold on, cheeseburgers are being ordered.
I also still love E.T. Stone Cold.
Is that everything for you today, sir?
I would like.
Come on, we all got stuff to do. Don't encourage this.
Yeah.
We're going to spend about half an hour doing this show. We might as well extend it as much as we can.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so if we're gonna do predictions, this is where we do the predictions part of the predictions.
You said if anybody wants to do them.
I will probably put it on my other operating device, which will be legally, of course, screening the pay-per-view, because I never steal pay-per-views because, that's wrong. Special events, sorry. That's what they call them in TNA now, right?
No, that's what they call the on-TV pay-per-views.
Right. So I'll have Impact on my computer later on, probably through some sort of Sky Sports stream. Willow versus Magnus. Who do you got? Come on, this is Magnus, the old Magnus. This is back in the Sharon Owens and Bram days.
This is the one that couldn't get the Matrix of Leadership to work?
Yeah, the guy who's embarrassed that, the last 6 months of his career have been the way they have, including his world title ship run. He's embarrassed of being a champion, folks. I don't write the show.
Ultra Magnus reference from JT. I can't get it open!
Yeah, Willow probably wins.
I just personally don't care. My uncle was over my house yesterday making fun of the Willow character because he's like, everybody knows it's Jeff Hardy. What the hell is the point?
He even admitted he's Jeff Hardy.
Yep. That's right.
I come from Jeff Hardy's imagination. Go the fuck back there.
The thing about like his whole gimmick is all he really does is pretend to have like some sort of fake druid accent from like Dungeons and Dragons, and then every fourth word he does the high pitched.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he grabs the nuts, abuses a child. I mean, Frankie Feathers, help me out, man. Where's he at? He's on the show today?
No, unfortunately.
Well, Jeff Hardy does have a lot of young fans.
Yeah, Frankie's a part of the.
Eric's a big fan.
Yeah. Frankie Feathers is part of the DeVille agency down in Erie, Pennsylvania now. So he's actually a part of that stable, managed by our dear friend Mr. Brian DeVille.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Brians on the show. I've noticed lately.
Yeah,
we gotta get that dog from Family Guy.
I'd do it, but I had to run the theme music off of this computer today.
Yeah, he did. Mark, you haven't gotten that far yet. He did die, but like the plan wasn't for him to be gone forever, is what they're trying to say. But because the outcry that he died, they only took him off for like 3 weeks, and he was back.
Jim Cornette take personal responsibility for bringing him back.
Now we just got to get Maud Flanders back.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Maud's probably going to go over Mr. Anderson.
Well, yeah, I only watched as many episodes as Netflix had.
So
like
James, I'm a heel, even though I don't know if I'm a face. Versus Mr. Well, here's another one that we've never heard. Blanderson, never heard before. Brand new original content, folks. In a who gives a fuck match. The stipulation is a who gives a fuck match, and one of them has to write the word fuck down on a piece of paper and give it to the referee before the timer runs down, and they have 5 seconds, but they're not given any paper. So I know. So they have to literally tear the flesh off of a fan at ringside and write fuck on a piece of skin.
I would watch that one.
Come on, this is a classic. It's a Slammiversary, you know.
I would actually watch that match.
Given some of the previous matches at Slammiversary events, I would say that one makes just about as much sense.
Disclaimer: we have G's comments are copyrighted PortWrestlingFan.com. Any illegal use are subject to legal actions.
Well, I mean, last year they had the reverse, fuck gives a who match, and they had to, find a way to go into an alternate reality and talk to Horton. And Horton would hear a who, and Horton would direct them to the who, and they would find the who, and then the fucks would be given in reverse. But that also involved Marty McFly. It was a really good match last year. I'm still shocked that Sting won, but he always finds a way. What are they going to do this year? Tune in tonight, folks. I'm tired. I'm going to go with...
No, you can't tell.
This is the same company that's giving you a reverse battle royal, that's giving you the King of the Mountain match.
Sting DDT'd himself onto a chair.
Probably.
He hit the DDT and smashed his head on a chair on the way down.
That'd be awesome. and one lucky fan gets to keep that chair.
I don't remember a thing about last year's Slammiversary.
Well, the real tragedy is they don't have anyone coming to the show, so that chair will remain in the arena until the end of ages, till the dawn of a new civilization of robots.
Yeah, that was what happened, because he fought Bully Ray, and if he lost, he could never be champion again.
It'll stay there until someone sells it on eBay for 15 cents.
Sold! I could use a new chair. It's got Bully Ray DNA on it. It's awesome.
Okay, I'm Baby Bully.
Yeah, this is a weird one because you have the psychopath angle. Samuel Shaw. I think is he gonna run in? Like, what's the deal with that storyline? Because
He's still got to finish that drawing.
Well, yeah, but where's Gunner? What the fuck is up with like that? I don't know. So it makes me want to tear out my eyeballs and brain and all that stuff. I don't know who to guess on this one because it's literally a guess. I don't even know what the program with Storm and Anderson's all about anymore. Like it did for a little while, and then it kind of diverted and went off the rails, and now it's on a pay-per-view. It's like, okay. Is Anderson supposed to be the face, right?
As far as anyone can tell.
Okay. So I'll go with Storm just because she was one of the coolest X-Men. Anyone else have a guess? I kind of have a theory about what's going to happen in the main event. Other than that, a lot of this is like I don't know.
Give us your theory for the.
I don't know is I don't care.
Yeah, give us your theory for the main event because nobody seems to really even give a shit that there's a TNA pay-per-view tonight.
Well, what about the grudge fuck match? Billy Ray takes on EC3. We gotta care about EC3. I mean, come on, that guy was on our show.
He was.
I think the grudge fuck match is gonna be probably an okay bout. I think it's gonna get overly violent, and I think it's probably gonna be one of the matches when we look back at it, honestly, without any sarcasm and whatnot. I think that'll be a good little show there.
Yeah, it's gonna be so violent. Most of the audience will bleed. It'll be EC3's blood.
That'll be sweet. I won't be shocked if EC3 actually goes over here.
Got to keep one streak alive in wrestling.
I mean that kind of would make sense. So we have to go with Bully Ray. It's just unfortunate. They're gonna have like maybe what 7,000 buys if they're lucky. You know, like if they're selling water to like a dehydrated nation, you know, it just doesn't really make sense to me why they would not try to keep their few heels that they've kind of created alive. And Bully Ray, I don't know what the fuck with that Tessmacher shit. Like that's the chick he called like a whore last time.
Yeah,
we saw her.
He said she was only good for one thing, and she wasn't very good at that.
Yeah, she's a terrible slut. She's not any good at like riding the cock, and unfortunately, they brought her back, and they just made it seem like everything's daisies without any.
God, that was terrible.
Yeah,
they didn't even need to bring her back. They could have just aired footage from last year.
I think honestly, it's because of the Amazing Race. I think it's the fact that her and Robbie E are both going to be on that show coming up in the fall.
I was damn proud though that whenever she was on, there was always one guy in the audience who held up a pin-up of her, and he had it this week. Because there was still some guy in the audience just rolling out a pin-up of Brooke Tessmacher. I like to think he takes it to every show just in case.
Oh, fucking, he doesn't just take it to every show. He, like, walks around with it all the time. You never know. You never know when you might get a little bit of the ass master. She could be anywhere, man.
All right.
Likely at the local Hooters, but...
All right, guys. I gotta go. I gotta go get myself ready, and I gotta go do my Father's Day stuff. So, have fun.
Enjoy yourself.
Do you drink a lot of coffee or Monster Energy drink, whatever it is, to keep you awake? And good luck at your Father's Day stuff. And see you guys next week. Okay, bye.
See you.
See ya.
And with that, JT had been murdered.
They're dropping like flies this week. You already killed George before we came on. JT,
Nice.
you just killed.
Three-man band.
You killed
It's
3MB.
the theme of this week's animated GIF. You
At
know.
least we still have the one-man band, baby.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing is that out of the three of them, Heath Slater is the one that still has a job. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I know you guys are still talking TNA here.
Angels deserve to die. Maybe
They were
angles.
too good for this world.
Okay, before we, what do we got left here? We never really
there's-
got an answer for the X Division winner.
That's Sonata.
I
One
think
interesting thing, though, that we can discuss, unless you want to go back to the X Division thing.
I would like to go back to the X Division.
yeah.
I actually agree with you. I think Sonata is a good choice. And here's my thinking. And again, I'm making the mistake of using logic here. I know. They've announced that one of their shows coming up that they're taping in New York is going to have the Great Muta on it. Whatever happens in this match is going to somehow relate to Sonata and his relationship with the Great Muta. One of the shining lights on this program has been the segments with Sonata. You know, he talks about like defending the honor of, you know, Japan and the wrestling culture and heritage. So I think Sonata is the focal point here. As little as attention has been given, you know, over the last week or two, I don't recall seeing any Sonata segments. I still think that that's kind of in the back of their mind, the direction that they're going. I would like to see Sonata retain. I don't understand why anyone else would win. Like, Manic has not existed on television for how long? 3 months, maybe? Tigra Uno. I don't mind the guy. I don't remember the last time we saw him. The menagerie could get involved, and I guess Crazy Steve potentially could come out with it. I guess that's a possibility because that is a thing on the show. It appears every week as a thing. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing, but it's on the show. So that's a possibility. So I would give him like second booking, and after that, like Edwards and Richards, as much as it would be great to have the X Division revitalized with those guys, they're the fucking tag team champions, and they're not even defending those. Again, I know I'm using logic, and this is the biggest mistake, but that Sonata's my pick based on simply Great Muta is supposed to appear on their TV in New York.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm getting ahead of TNA here, but I wonder if. Do you know when Destination X is?
Next month, I believe.
Because that could be how they get rid of Sonata, is he decides to cash it in he keeps the championship, cashes it in for the title shot, and loses. And maybe Muta pulls him out of TNA and takes him back to Wrestle 1. Because as much as we love him, he's contracted to Wrestle 1, not TNA. And he has to leave someday. And the only thing really tying him there is the championship.
Destination X is in 2 weeks.
Wow, that shit creeps up on you. All right, that makes sense, Mark. I won't argue with you at all. That's a good point because you have that clause that they have to address it, I guess, with 2 weeks.
That's another big thing about this match is who's going to hold the title at Destination X and what are they going to do with it?
Yeah. Well, I believe what happens. Yeah, they forfeit the title for the opportunity to go after the heavyweight title, if I recall. So, yeah, that would actually make sense.
They can, but so far everyone has.
That would effectively and cleanly write him off the show, and maybe that actually makes a fucking lot of sense because Muta is supposed to appear before Destination X because he's on the first taping, so that would set that up, right? And it's like if you're going to go for the honor of Japan, you should forfeit the title, go for the heavyweight title, and then he can be like dishonored and I guess commit what is it?
Seppuku.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Harry Curry is off right off the show, and Either way, though, I think, I mean, you're probably bucking it better than they will, but that actually makes a lot of sense. That actually does. So, yeah, so not all the way. Change one letter is my country, so that's cool.
It's true.
Now, any other comments on that, or before, because we have one other thing, and this is actually the biggest head
Yeah, this
scratch
is what I was
thing.
going to bring up as well, is the new next TNA Hall of Famer,
Yes. Who the fuck did they nominate this year?
Taz.
You know what? That actually makes more sense to me than anything, and that's scary.
That is scary because you're right. It does actually make sense compared to anything else that they're going to do.
It was the only name I could think of. It's either Taz or Jeremy Borash.
Don West. I don't know.
Brooks Esmacher's ass.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, I guess with active talent on the roster that they haven't alienated, you look at like who has a legacy in the business, and Taz is right up there, even though he's never actually been active as a wrestler. This is
What about Awesome Kong?
I don't know. I guess I won't say it's not impossible, but I would not expect pretty much any of their knockouts to come back. Like they've had all these situations where they've had like these like one-off like $10 pay-per-view things and shooting, and they've invited, apparently rumor has it, these people
Yeah,
back.
they invited everyone and no one accepted.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose there's a possibility that we'll get a knockout to be. I'm not sure who they're on like good terms with. The only person in the actual company wrestling right now that would make sense, to me, would be Gail Kim. But it just seems like it's kind of like more better fitted to put someone in that's either at the tail end of their career or unable to wrestle anymore. That would kind of be, I guess that would be TNA.
Well, keep in mind that the Von Erichs are going to be at this show.
Hey, that's a good point too. Maybe Kerry is going to get the nod for his legendary bouts in the Impact Zone. In all seriousness, though, that's a possibility. That's true. To me, this is honestly of all the things on the show. Like, I'm gonna put it on, but that's the one thing that makes me wonder the most is this Hall of Fame, because it's a painful situation they're in on all levels. For all people involved.
I just like the idea they created it to put Sting in and then thought to themselves, oh shit, we need to do this every year.
Maybe the blue dot. Yeah, I think Christian might have left it in the back. The blue dot's going in. And then we're going to have like the 7-Up animated sponsor spot running, and they're going to have a blue dot versus red dot match next week on Impact.
Poor old man does a run-in.
That's right. That'd be awesome. They're going to Connect 4 match. Yeah.
It would be tragically great. Just put someone in a cool old man suit and do it Shockmaster style.
That'd be fantastic. Oh, yeah! It's okay. Well, no, we got the main event, the 3 matches that culminate towards our championship match. We obviously, with MVP out, they finally announced that his cronies, Lashley and King, are facing Samoa Joe and Austin Aries respectively to enter a 3-way match against a face. So I'm thinking we're gonna see Lashley and King in the final against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's almost definitely going to happen, and then EY's going to win because it's not going on anyone but MVP.
I think Young will retain because they'll just delay the program. They really have nothing else going on that would make sense to move on to. The kicker is Lashley's beat Young clean twice, but I don't think that means much. And Kenny King, as much as I like the guy, he's got a lot of talent, very very skilled in the ring. His gimmick is his gimmick is he's retarded, right? And that kind of sucks because I don't have anything against him, but that's the way they've been selling him. He's like he's the dumb guy in the group that fucks shit up. So I kind of expect somehow King will fuck shit up, and Lashley, will somehow be cost the opportunity, and Young will get kind of I won't call it a glorious win, but he'll find a way to get a pin. Because I'm under the impression it's not an elimination match. What does Wikipedia say, Joe?
1 second here. Wikipedia says 3-way steel cage match for the TNA. So I would imagine it is certainly not an elimination match, if I had to guess.
Maybe Lashley will spear the cage and knock himself out or something.
It's possible that like they could even have like a scuffle and Eric Young just hop out of the cage too. I guess. Yeah. I forgot it was a steel cage match, but I guess
it is possible that it could make Eric Young look stronger. The fact that he has lost to Lashley twice now, as he's going against a guy he's lost twice to, and Kenny King, but still, but to win when it really matters could end up making him look stronger, even though he's lost twice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I suspect they have one by this point. As all jokes aside, I think they know what they're doing tonight. I don't think this is going to be a last minute decision. I think you nailed it on the head there. This is all about the MVP program. And unfortunately, his knee is injured. So
he got kind of lucky that he was injured so close after the end of the tapings. If he was going to get injured, so they have had time to work out what to do.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if they edited the shows that they taped.
They could have at least edited the rundowns of the card.
Yeah, that was
the
one
hard
of the
sell at the end. They could have really edited that out.
They had more than enough time to alter that, and they didn't. And that's a great point. This just reeks of laziness.
At least they are being kind of honest and saying he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And the E would pretend that someone was still there. And I think they have a track record of doing that.
It made last Thursday more than any of the tape shows that much more meaningless. Like you watch it knowing that all this is bullshit. It's all.
It's hard to believe their roster is so shit that they have to put him in every single match that isn't the Knockouts match. EY had 3 matches out of 4 matches.
Yeah. Yeah, I got no justification for this program. Hey, there's a Ring of Honor pay-per-view next week. Yay!
Yeah, the question now is which one sells more in terms of buys, ROH or TNA.
The ROH pay-per-view is actually going to be on pay-per-view, right? It's not just an pay-per-view this time?
Pay-per-view.
That's our first ever official non-online or whatever you want to call it. It's like it's a pretty big step for the company. You have to give them credit for taking the risk. I hope they do well.
I take that's Saturday. That's typically when they do their pay-per-views.
Sure.
We'll assume. I don't know. I haven't been watching the show. I don't honestly know what's going on over there. So.
I don't even. What's it called?
Don't even know.
Best in the world.
Is that the one?
It's Best in the World. It's on the 22nd, which is Sunday next week.
Oh, so we could talk about it Sunday next week. So
we'll look at that next week.
Yeah,
for sure. I think we should give them at least attention for the fact that they are, taking a big step forward, and they're breaking ground for their promotion. If nothing else, that's hopefully a step in the right direction, because it's been depressing talking about TNA, and here we are doing it.
Yeah.
But we did, and
Well, let's say we just run through the news real quick, and then we'll call it a day. We'll get to our Father's Day stuff we got to do, and next week we'll regroup and have a full show. And we'll talk ROH next week. So
I might have missed a couple days of news here. I did an update yesterday.
and if there's anything that I notice is missing and I see and that I'm like, okay, I need to talk about this, I will mention it. So let's just go. First of all, of course, shout-outs to cheapheat.com and angrymarks.com, our great sources for wrestling news. Shout-out, of course, to Alice at rwrpodcast.com, and, of course, our boys at Booker T's, BookerTees.com for all your great wrestling T-shirt needs. At Booker Tees on Twitter, Booker Tees. Tell them Board Wrestling Fans sent you. TNA has reached out to several former X Division champions about appearing on the Destination X taping in June. But nobody so far has been confirmed. Reports that TNA was reaching out to Ring of Honor talent for the Destination X pay-per-view may have been premature. The only reason they were contacted for sure, the only person, rather, they contacted for sure was former TNA wrestler Jay Lethal, who told them he was under contract, and that was the end of the conversation. Davey Richards apparently called several people on his own, including Red Dragon, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly, and got the same answer. Magnus has been in Hollywood lately looking for work outside of wrestling.
He's starring Gladiator 2.
Yeah. Advertising Marshall and Ross Von Erich has reportedly been a positive locally in Texas for the Slammiversary pay-per-view, along with Menagerie's Rebel, as she is a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Woot woot.
If you had been led to believe it wasn't a work that TNA pulled Bully Ray from House of Hardcore, then the following Twitter spat may flip the script on you. Dixie Carter tweets, "Hey, at the Tommy Dreamer, heard you use some colorful language discussing me at your show this past weekend. Hashtag classy." Tommy Dreamer, "Get your facts straight at TNA Dixie. I called you a bitch." At House of Hardcore fans said way worse. "Don't mess with people's lives. Hashtag karma. Hashtag raw."
What the fuck is he hashtagging Raw?
Get more people to see it. Dixie says, "At the Tommy Dreamer, how come you didn't just book me? You used me, my name, and my IP to make yourself and your show relevant?" Tommy says, "Relevant? I have more followers than you."
I did love the botch spot comic about that.
Yeah.
In the end, all the fans just boycotted rather than buying tickets.
Right. Kurt Angle will announce the third inductee into TNA's Hall of Fame tonight at Slammiversary. He says, "When you get to the level of being a Hall of Famer, it is the greatest feeling of honor. You'll go down in history as one of the all-time best. In TNA, only one inductee is selected each year, and so that is more prestigious in my mind." All right, well, of course, Thursday. Oh, here's where the button
Black
is.
Thursday.
Black Thursday.
Good times. Great oldies.
Yes, well. You guys can hear the music. Good. Okay.
Of course. The animated GIF is there for a reason.
I know. That's what inspired it. I saw the animated GIF. Released Thursday by WWE, also known as Future Endeavored. Referee Mark Harris. Yoshitatsu. Evan Bourne. Brodus Clay. Camacho. Teddy Long. Kurt Hawkins. Oksana. Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, and last, and certainly the most shocking of all, JTG. JTG. What? No more 3MB. And Oksana's gone. Now who will entertainment us? Oh. Thank you, Miss Sarah McLachlan, for...
The best part about that is JTG was announced last and several hours after everyone else.
I know. That's great.
Which means that there's a good chance they literally forgot he was still employed.
Oh, JTG says he should have known better. He tweeted, "Damn, why I pick up my phone?"
And Zack Ryder went crazy listening to his phone ring for 4 hours straight.
Kurt Hawkins responds, "My worst nightmare has come true. Now I have to start paying for my own wrist tape again. Shit." Of course, Kurt Hawkins has apparently already signed with Pro Wrestling Syndicate following his release. PWS has also signed up Brodus Clay to work their September 20th show. But Hawkins isn't too happy with Mark Henry. Mark Henry tweeted, "Here we stand, still here," and a picture of him, and basically bragging that he's been in the company for 18 years. And Hawkins goes, "Your colleagues lose your jobs, and you tweet that? You're an idiot, Mark."
It's not in the news, but there is an update that Mark Henry has apologized and said he was just tweeting about his birthday or some shit.
Yeah, something like that, and he basically indicated that he didn't even know the firings were happening.
Yeah, he hadn't even heard anyone had been fired.
Brodus Clay on his release says, "It is better to be held down, held back, or let. Is it better to be held down, held? Let me try this one more time. Is it better to be held down, held back, or let go? I'm proud of all the obstacles I fought through WWE, and now greatness is on me. Hashtag MonstusBC." There's no R in there. Also, there is no sadness or bad feelings, only opportunity for me. To hashtag break bread or play dead. So no sad tweets or messages.
I know he spelled it wrong.
Monstrous wrong again.
Brodus Clay will now be heading to Japan to protest dolphin hunting. Okay.
And learn English.
Apparently so.
Or is it English? I don't know.
Now I'm going to wrestle dolphin hunters. Okay. Oh, boy. Well, anyway, let's see. Where were we? Trent Beretta says... Our boy Trent Beretta, winning friends and influencing people with his comments on today's WWE cuts. Should have been Kofi.
Fucking Kofi.
You'll remember that, when Trent Beretta got...
Evan Bourne gone too. I don't think he was on the list.
Evan Bourne's gone. No, he was on the list. Trent Beretta, when he got released, said, "Now that I'm gone, I can say it. Kofi Kingston is an asshole." I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do.
Yeah. So that happened, and Trent Beretta's picture's on our wall here in the studio. He doesn't do interviews. We've been trying, and he's like, "No, man, I just don't like doing them. I'm not comfortable doing them."
One day you should just interview his picture.
Maybe I should
speak for him.
Hey, Trent's picture. What do you got to say about Kofi Kingston? He's an asshole. Anyway. Additional details, Teddy Long was released because his contract expired and he was already planning to leave. WWE felt Tatsu had regressed and couldn't find another suitable role for him. The old creative has nothing for you got Brodus. Evan Bourne was on the hit list due to being out from an accident after already being out for a wellness policy suspension. And the biggest surprise to other wrestlers and personnel were Camacho and Hawkins. Triple H's assistant, Mark Carrano, was the one who called most of the talent to let them know they've been let go. More cuts are expected on both talent and administrative side, said to be because the WWE Network will lose money this year.
But they have hired George R.R. Martin.
Yeah. Well,
Jeff, favorite mid-carder? Not anymore.
Yes. Jeff Jarrett is happy. Well, the independent wrestling pool just got deeper today, and it's really deep already. Hashtag GFW. Seth Rollins' heel turn is now being described as a last...
Whoa, I got a couple of more updates here related to the cuts.
Okay.
Some of these are good.
Heath Slater's gone.
Oh, no. Well, okay. PWI is reporting that if they are making any more cuts, they're going to be off-air talent. And everybody has a no-compete clause except for one guy. Me love you, Teddy Longtime. It's the only one free to do what he wants immediately. So Teddy Long's the only person that could be popping up on a wrestling pay-per-view or show of any kind in the near future immediately. That's televised.
He's gonna be at TNA tonight. He's gonna be the new world champion.
He's gonna be the Hall of Fame inductee.
There you go. So he's the one.
Believe that, player.
One guy out of the cuts. So that is important because that's always a big question mark, right? What is so and so doing in the impact zone, or the Zimpact Ion, or whatever the fuck? You gotta invert the letters. This one I like. Actually, I like both of these because they end in a funny way. They're both Twitter notes. Layla on Oksana. I had some of my fave and best matches with at WWE Oksana that never made TV. Blessed to have worked with you. 2 question marks. That's what's in there. Referee Mark Harris on his release. Thanks to all my fans and friends. You're truly awesome. Misspelled. You are has an apostrophe R-E, Mark Harris. That's why you're fired, asshole. It's impossible. Another spelling mistake, apostrophe. It is impossible to hold me down. Watch what happens next. 2 question marks on both of them. I don't know. Maybe that's is 2 question marks trending? Hashtag question mark question mark? I don't know. But that is my mini update that I'm observing from 4 pages of news that I'm kind of going through as we speak.
All right.
Now Seth Rollins' turn is being described as what?
As a last-minute decision, and none of the teasers or spoilers beforehand should have been taken as indication it was planned all along, or that it would originally be somebody other than Rollins.
I don't buy it.
No.
I might be wrong, but I don't buy it. No.
We'll probably never know. Anyway, Triple H is actively seeking out memorabilia for a physical WWE Hall of Fame. He's high on the idea, even though Vince McMahon is not.
He's just high on crack.
I just got to hang out with RVD in the back.
Yeah. Let's see. Vince McMahon is said to be down on Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, and Paige. All of which we know legitimate complaints about. Especially Bo Dallas. I hate freaking Bo Dallas. His personality is starting to grow on me. I hate to say it, but I hate the guy. Anyway.
Well, I heard he was kind of funny on NXT this week.
He was Mr. NXT, and they unmasked him. And they were, like, trying to drag him out of the arena and shit. It was funny. Had, like, campus security. Taking him away in a golf cart.
That's right.
Oh, speaking of masks.
Tyson Kidd will not be doing a masked wrestler gimmick, despite rumors to that effect.
He bought a mask for nothing.
And speaking of masks, Kalisto is being fast-tracked to the main WWE roster. I understand that that's because they figure Rey Mysterio ain't going to be around for long.
And no one likes Sin Cara.
Right. Joey Styles on if he'd ever return to commentary. Yes, for at WWE NXT. It reminds me of ECW and tapes monthly in Florida. And on the WWE Network, he says, somebody tweeted him, I hope you get royalties for at WWE Network views of ECW shows. He says, I don't, but I do get more offers for appearances.
Wow, wow, wow.
Ultimate Warrior Week was so well received on WWE Network that they're looking at doing a number of other themed weeks in the future and surveyed fans about the possibility of CM Punk, Christian, Alberto Del Rio, Lex Luger, Sting, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, The Authority, The Click, Steve Austin, The Rock, The Hardy Boys, and Randy Savage as themes.
Now, didn't the Ultimate Warrior Week happen after he died?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it did so well. The only one of these that would do well is Randy Savage.
Oh, I disagree. I think there's a couple in that list. I think Savage would do great. I'm not disagreeing with that. They would certainly get ratings for Austin and Rock. There's no doubt in my mind the Hardy Boys would do well for them. And Hogan and Giant would certainly get a look. The Click might be a little bit more of a stretch depending on how they choose to present it.
Yeah, some of these would make good documentaries, but I don't know about an entire week.
It depends what they choose to use. Because some of the stuff has been already done, and it could just be replays of previous documentaries and mixed footage.
But I want them to put an Alberto Del Rio one on just to see it tank.
Yeah,
I think the majority of the audience of the network is the hardcore fan. So I mean, even if it's like perceived as trolling, I think a Punk one is gonna get some eyeballs on it. Interesting factoid about Mysterio, who we talked about earlier, plays out with Punk, is that Mysterio had his contract renewed because of a clause that said they didn't feel that they got enough out of his run because of his injuries. So it was like out of his hands. So technically, like, they can't force him to wrestle, but he can't wrestle anywhere else for a year plus the 6 months because of that no compete clause. They can do the same thing with Punk, even though he's retired and married and stuff. I didn't even put that bullshit in the notes, but yeah.
I thought it was later on down in the notes.
Yeah.
Well, him and
Joe,
Duncan
received any of these
Keith are a lock.
surveys?
No, I haven't. Well, I might have. I just don't really check that email address. In another survey, WWE was looking for demographics of what shows are being watched on the network, and one of the choices by respondents was replays of Total Divas, which doesn't even air on the network. It was supposed to. For some reason, it's not. But it's not. Both DirecTV and Dish Network have opted not to carry WWE Money in the Bank, although both are carrying Slammiversary tonight. Speaking of Money in the Bank, WWE may hold a second Money in the Bank match to determine a future title shot at the new champion crowned by the other Money in the Bank match. For those wondering, WWE will not do a swerve where both unified world titles are broken up. The winner of the latter match will grab both titles.
I was hoping that would happen.
There is
I'm not going to put it past them,
No,
even though this is what's being leaked.
Yeah.
It could be being leaked for that exact reason, so we don't see it coming. You know? I don't know why they would consider doing it, but if it happened, color me
I just
shocked.
don't see the point of still keeping both belts. I mean, this is a perfect time to either get a single belt or separate them again.
That's exactly it. Like they're stubbornly like using both, and if you continue to do that, of course people are going to speculate. That's why it wouldn't shock me. I agree. It's like if you weren't going to unify them officially, it's like this is the one title and this other one is retired, then we should only see one. So until they do that, it's going to leave the door wide open, and I'm cool with that. I'm actually cool with the idea that they're going to leave it wide open because it gives us something to talk about. Honestly, that's not a bad thing. It's just we need as viewers, not just internet nerd folks. That's 10%er guys here on the internet to speculate. Everyone wants to have a little bit of the unknown, and I think that's a positive more than a negative. It's just simply that they could do that, and they might not, and then maybe it'll happen, and maybe it won't. It doesn't necessarily mean even at this pay-per-view, but right now it would actually be I think a good thing. The program is hurting. Like as much fun as we made of TNA earlier, WWE is not doing well storyline-wise right now.
TNA was because there's a pay-per-view.
Yeah, and it's one that doesn't really have any meaning other than we have to do one. The WWE, I mean, look at the not just the cuts and like the economic state of it. When you just look at the stories that are being told, they need to shake up too. I know it's the summertime, and I think now is actually a good time let's shake stuff up, take some risks.
Well, the summer is when they tend to do that. Things just die down, so they take some risks.
It's never a bad time of the year when they're not really jeopardizing anything in the long stretch that's ahead of them for 2+ months before SummerSlam. If they wanted to split the titles, I say go for it. If you really want to make the Shield Evolution story, find a way to end up the pay-per-view with one guy from each respective group, Seth Rollins being one of them, Ambrose or Reigns. I would actually go with Ambrose over Reigns at this point, just because we're talking about long matches later down the road, and I don't think Reigns is ready to go there yet. Those two guys having a feud over who actually really is a champion, I don't know how they would pull that off, but
be great.
I would want to watch that.
And that's not something we've been saying lately.
Those two guys would have a great program together. I have no doubt in my mind. We may or may not have that in the near future in like a singles angle because there's still this faction element. But fuck, man, give me Ambrose and Rollins for the summer. Make that to me would liven things up. Give those guys a best of 3 rubber match. Just don't cane it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, there is a small, minuscule chance that Daniel Bryan might be a surprise Money in the Bank entrance if he heals up quickly before June 29th. I doubt it'll happen, but it could.
And he hardly has John Cena's healing factor.
Right. Ric Flair has passed WWE medical testing somehow and can now return to TV and be on the road for the company at any time. Kevin Hart is hosting Raw next week.
Who?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Who the heck is Kevin
comedian.
Hart? He's like he's like in movies or something, right? Kevin Hart.
It was very forgotten, Hart brother.
Kevin Hart, American actor and comedian born and raised in Philadelphia. On the playground is where he spent most of his days.
Exactly.
Let's see. He's trying to see like what he was in the 40-year-old version, epic movie, superhero movie, extreme movie. So he's in a lot of these shitty, parody movies. He was in This Is the End and Grudge Match just last year. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, he's probably got a movie or something to promote.
Well, he's black, so he'll get buried.
I'm sure that might be true. John Cena's eye poke at last weekend's house shows was not the first he's gotten from Bray Wyatt. He actually caught one in the eye during the Nexus angle way back when he was known as Husky Harris. Apparently, part of the reason he got sent back down to developmental was for not apologizing enough for the accident. I can't make this shit up.
Oh, that's amazing.
Kevin Hart's playing a guy named Jimmy in an upcoming movie. Jimmy, and so it's like Jimmy, and in parentheses it says Hart. So Jimmy Hart. Hey, Jimmy Hart's in this movie. Anyway. TMZ covers Pat Patterson coming out, even though last night's revelation was hardly news to longtime wrestling fans. In fact, one of the first episodes of Legends House, Patterson was seen flirting with the man working at the meat counter at the grocery store.
I think
I
it
was
was
shocked.
actually the first episode.
I don't believe it. Pat Patterson can't be gay.
I'm watching on Thursday night, and he's like, I've been living with this for 50 years. I'm gay. Like, no shit. Who the fuck didn't know that? This is supposed to be a big fucking revelation? It's the guy's gay? We
Bret
fucking
Hart
knew
was
he
in
was gay.
trouble recently for making gay jokes about him.
Jim
We all
Ross was
watched that
cracking
back
gay.
when Pat Patterson was around.
Jim Ross was cracking gay jokes in the 90s about him. He's single, fellas. Come on.
In fact, wasn't one of the controversies that he was trying to chat up all the men back in the 90s?
I don't know. We'll have to talk to Rowdy Roddy Piper about that.
Yeah. But yeah, come on, really, it's ridiculous. This did make the news, by the way, in our news. WWE could renew CM Punk's contract without approval.
Yep.
But they'll have to keep paying him royalties and merchandising if they do.
Nah, they're already paying him that shit. And they make a cut, so I'm sure if nothing else, they would just do it based on the fact that it's bringing money in, period.
Yeah. Cincinnati Reds announcer Marty Brenneman says he's being interviewed by WWE for their upcoming Macho Man Randy Savage documentary.
Macho Man Week on the network.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Stephanie McMahon.
And finally, here's a synopsis for See No Evil 2. In the sequel, Jacob Goodnight rises from the dead in the city morgue after his killing spree at the Blackwell Hotel. In this ominous underground locker for the dead, a group of medical students fight to survive as this deranged psychopath's 3-foot penis once again starts to pick them apart one by one. I'm sure that's not the actual synopsis. I'm sure somebody threw in that 3-foot penis.
Oh, of course not. That would never happen on our show.
No, definitely not on our show. Nobody ever changes the
certainly would
notes.
have had nothing to do with that.
Is Katie Vick one of the medical students?
I hope so. I really do. I
They
think that
should
would
really do that. It's just a great reference.
It's just, if nothing else, just to have like in the morgue, one of the lockers of the corpses just have the name on it, just like a nice little Easter egg. That would be fucking fantastic. That would be a great little note in the footnotes of the 3-foot penis is returned. You know, it's coming up soon, folks.
Okay, this is the actual synopsis. See No Evil 2 revives the nightmare of the first film when Jacob Goodnight rises from the dead in the city morgue after his killing spree at the Blackwell Hotel. In this ominous underground locker for the dead, a group of medical students fight to survive as the deranged psychopath once again starts to pick them apart one by one.
With his 3-foot penis.
Yeah. Got to have more penis. Definitely needs more penis. You know who needs more penis is the TNA baseball stadium events because nobody showed up. And if they had more 3-foot penises, I think they would get more people to come down to the arena.
For that night, TNA suffered totally no attendance.
That's right.
Yes, it did.
Those pictures were just brutal.
It's like an empty arena match.
It
And
was.
it's not, and they're not even ones where people can say, "Oh, well, they were taken, well before or after the event."
Yeah,
You
it
can
was
see the
during a
talent.
match.
Yeah, you can see exactly, and that's fucking shake my head.
You
That's
should
rough.
just book 300-seat arenas and have sellouts.
Then they draw like
300-seat
50.
gymnasiums.
Oh, fuck gymnasiums. They just rent a bachelor apartment.
My aunt told me that TNA is having one of those base brawls here, but then my uncle was like, "Oh yeah, and Hogan's gonna be there." Like, yeah, that was the one like 2 years ago. Like Hogan doesn't work there anymore. Let's see, this is all about. I'm trying to find if there's any updates on upcoming events here.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, here we go.
They probably don't even know themselves, and that's cool.
Upcoming live events, but there's nothing booked for Buffalo. So, oh, Jamestown, New York. They're coming to Jamestown,
Yeah,
which
they're
isn't
doing
too
that
far.
New York arena soon.
Yeah. Well, Jamestown is is local here. It's not too far from Buffalo, and they're coming here on. Let me get back to it. They're coming here July 11th. So
You should go.
I should go if I could get there. Jamestown Arena. TNA, let's see. Eric Young, Bully Ray, Kurt Angle, Ethan Carter III, Mr. Anderson, Gunner, and Bobby Roode all scheduled for the event here in Jamestown.
Is Sam Shaw there? I'll go for Sam Shaw.
Don't see him there. All right, guys, what do you
That's
say?
a good point. For kayfabe, he should not be at any live events or anything.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys say we call it a day?
Yeah.
All right, I'm down with that as well. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 130 of Board Wrestling Fan Radio. I am at Think So Joe, George, who was not here at Punish78, JT, who left early at Random Redhead, Mark at Mark_Noise, G at G of the Internet, me at Think So Joe, I think I already said that, at Board Wrestling Fan, that's Board Wrestling Fan without vowels, Facebook.com/Board Wrestling Fan. Check out our Facebook page. Check out our boys at Booker T's. Check out Alice at RWR. Get all your wrestling stuff at Cheap Heat and Angry Marks and blah, 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 blah. And that's all I got to say about that.
Big Show would like to wish a happy Father's Day to Andre the Giant.
And there's a hand somewhere wishing one to Mark Henry.